Hello there, Runnineers. It's Manny again, and I wanted to drop a video about the Springtime Surprise Digital Event Guide, which is almost done, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer because we still have some time for that. Now, after what happened yesterday when we were registering for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, I did the video, the reaction, what happened, and then I actually was able to record what I did during the registration, so that way you guys could see that. But then afterward last night and going into this morning, I started seeing a lot of stuff on social media, and I said, I gotta do this video as soon as possible so that way you guys can get a better understanding about charities and alternatives. But before we do, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. The channel continues growing. It's because of you. This channel is here to help you guys. And even some people reached out to me and said, hey, I didn't get in. What are the alternatives? And here are your alternatives. So we're going to go ahead and give you those. So first off, I started seeing a lot of people excited. It's my first one. Thank you. I got in. This is fantastic. This is great. I'm looking forward to it. Now I got to do my training, so forth and so on. They were posting this on social media, and most people were just excited. They were fantastically magical experience that they're about to have. I mean, they were just so excited. And then there's the other ones. And I started seeing those later on last night and this morning where people started saying, well, I got in, too bad, so sad, your haters gonna hate. All right, that's not what Run Disney is about. We're not about hating. Hey, you know what? We didn't get in this time. We'll try again next time, but we are going to encourage the people who got in. We're not going to get in people's faces, and in this case, on social media and bash them. So that was really something that I did not agree with. I did not like, but I'll be honest with you. I understand the disappointment, but there's ways of getting around the disappointment, and we're going to get to those right now. But one of them is not to bash people. And most people that I saw were genuinely excited about going to their first or 7th or 20th Run Disney event. And they're excited. Once you get there, you'll understand why they're excited. And that's okay. But again, some people crossed the line and started saying, you know, I don't care what you guys think, I'm in and stuff. Okay, that's crossing the line. The next thing I saw is people basically started saying, hey, why doesn't Run Disney do this? Why doesn't they do this? And remember what I've always said is we need to have viable solutions. That's the first part. For the masses. That's the second part. So in other words, if it doesn't affect you. So the first question I would ask is, are you just upset because you didn't get in? If you didn't get in, then the system is broken. If you got in, the system is perfect. So you guys got to decide what the difference is. Because if you got in and you still say, yeah, I got in, but I still think it's broken because I feel more comfortable and more people got in, but most people were like, no, I didn't get in and it's broken. Let me tell you why. Run Disney's horrible. People that got in are horrible, so forth and so on. Remember, viable solutions for the masses. So I was able to read some of those. So we're going to go over some of those. Well, the first one, the one that is the most popular is the lottery system. So like the majors do, we got to have the lottery system. I hate to break it to you, but we do have a lottery system. The lottery system is a little bit different because instead of you putting your name in the hat and getting the email that you're going to register, you actually find out during registration if you got into the lottery system. So it's a little bit different. Those of you who are expecting that to change, it's not going to, or at least I don't see it changing anytime soon. You got to remember, it's working for them, and it's been working for them for years, 17 years that I've been doing the runs, and more than that, I'm pretty sure that they've done this from the beginning. So all of a sudden, this happens. Can they change it because it seems like they've gotten more and more popular? They could. I just don't see them doing it. So the next one I saw was adding more slots, and this one is for the masses, but it's not a viable solution. And Disney may, I'm going to say this, or I should say this, they may up it a little bit, but they've already upped it quite a bit. Now you got to remember, they have another business to run, which is the parks. And so they're not going to close the park. They've been trying their hardest to not have us run in the parks when they're open. They try to limit that. Earlier in the day, they try to get us into the parks, and then once it's open, they try to get us out of the parks. And that's just Disney's business way of doing things. So you got to remember, if we add more runners, that's going to add more to congestion. That's going to prolong everything, and then you're going to have another problem where people are already bunched up at the end, and then we have the time limit. After a while, they're going to be, it's going to basically expand the start, and it's going to clog up more people. I just don't see them adding a lot more runners. A few here and there, yes, I can see that, but not a whole bunch. And the other one that I just saw actually makes a little bit of sense is adding another run. I'm not sure if they wanted to add more runs during the weekend or the current Run Disney weekends, or they wanted to add another weekend. I don't think they're going to add one to to the existing weekend. So in other words, they're not going to add a second 5K, although that doesn't seem far-fetched, and I think that would be cool. Again, we're going back to they have a park to run, and now they got to pay people to come out here. So when people sit there and say, well, they're going to make a lot of money, they look at it differently than we do. And so remember, I have helped put on races before. Behind the scenes, it's a headache. It is a headache to put it on. And if I'm talking about the simple 5Ks here on the streets are a headache, putting them at Disney World is even much more of a headache. There's a lot of moving parts that have to go right in order for the run to come up and be a great experience. So no, I don't see this happening. I don't see them adding another weekend either, for the simple reason that, you know what, they do it on their downtimes, and a lot of times now because of they've like the Walt Disney World Marathon, the Wine and Dine, the Princess, they're very, very popular. So those, they already take up most of the masses. They're not going to add another one, at least not at Walt Disney World. So now we're going to go to alternatives that you can do to see if you can still get in the races, because they're all alternatives that you can use. So number one is going to be using Telegram. So Telegram, if you get on there, it's an app. So you just go and type in Telegram, bring it down, download it, set up your account. Once you set up your account, you can put Run Disney alerts or Run Disney Marathon alerts, and I believe there's two different ones. So you're going to click on them. You gotta turn on your notification, so because it will ding you when it's out. What I have found is that once they release one slot, usually a second or third can pop up. So what I would do is try to get that first one. If it's sold out, fine dandy. Keep refreshing. Probably for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would keep refreshing, because you never know when the second slot opens up. Does it always open up a second or third slot? No, but it does happen from time to time. At least and from my experience also, when it dings, it doesn't stop dinging. So that's why I keep telling you, just continue. If you really want to get into it, when you get on Telegram, continue. Once you get onto the Run Disney page, on the account page, keep refreshing, and you just never know. And the next alternative, this is why I'm wearing the shirt, is the charities. So the charities they've become very, very popular. Some of them even sell out before the runs start, just because they got a waiting list. People want to do them. They want to raise some money. It's a great experience with a lot of them. So I'm going to go ahead and explain some charities. So a couple of suggestions I'm going to give if you want to go the charity route. Number one is find out if it's right for you. And basically understand what you're gonna have to do before you sign up. A lot of people get emotional. I wanted to get in, I didn't get in. I'm gonna sign up no matter what. You sign up and then you go, I gotta what? Okay, so this is what I'm gonna tell you. So the first thing that you gotta do is do your research. Find out about the charities first. Find out, because I'm gonna give you some things that you're gonna have to do. Then find out which one is right for you, which one that you're gonna have a better connection with. Now understand that if you sign up with a charity, it is another commitment you're going to have. So you already have committed to train, you committed for your entry fee, and now you're going to commit to raise some money for a charity. Now, here are the differences, because charities can be different, and most of them are. So they differ in quite a few different areas. So the first area is upfront money. So some of them will ask for the price of the run right off the back. So if you're going to sign up for Goofy, let's say, and I want to say it was $493, they're going to ask you for $493 up front, and then they're going to say and you have a commitment, but we'll get to that later. So there is some charities that don't ask for a lot of money up front. They just say, hey, just give us $100 and that will reserve that bib for you. And as long as you make your commitments or you make your deadlines, we are going to hold that bib for you. So there is charities that you don't have to pay that much up front. Now the next thing, as I've already kind of alluded to it, is there's going to be fundraising goals. So now let's go back and say, all right, we're going to do the Goofy Challenge, $493. There's going to be a charity that's probably going to say, as long as you get double that, so let's say $1,000 total, including the $493, there's going to be some that are going to say that. There's some that are going to say $1,500. So that's a total of $1,500. So $493 minus, so you're going to have to raise about $1,000. So every single one will have a different fundraising goal. Some of them will be similar. And then the next thing is going to be deadlines, because there's some that have some deadlines. Some of them have deadlines throughout the run, throughout the fundraising. Some of them will have, as long as you make it by this date, you're fine. But you have to contact the charity ahead of time to find out which one is right for you. So with all that said, let's find out how we can actually sign up, or where we can start looking for charities. So we go to rundisney.com, and at the top you're going to see charities and travel providers. Very simple. You're just going to click on this. You can click to find out which race you want to find charities for, and then you just scroll down and participating charities. What you're going to do is, once you find the one that you want more information for, you're going to click. It's going to go continue, because it's going to take you to their website. This one's taking a little bit of time, but this is a one that I'm very familiar with, so Parent Project. And so you look at it as 2025, so they haven't updated yet to 2026, but you can more or less get an idea of what you're looking into, so that way you can, and I'm just going to go back because these are the charities, but you can get an idea what you're getting into. So if you have noticed, they haven't updated. 2025 is what they have right now. I do know for a fact that a lot of them are already up. They just have to send you the link. So what I would do, if you really find a charity that you like, reach out to them. Reach out to them personally and say, hey, I'm looking at fundraising for the 2026. Do you have a link for that? Do you have an open slot, and do you have a link for that? If you can, send me the information. That way I can go ahead and get started. Now, here are some suggestions. I already alluded to this, but go ahead and get to know your charity. That way you have more of a commitment to them. You have this attachment to them. You are now tethered to them a little bit more. So that way when you're out there, it becomes easier, because you've made that connection with that charity. So now you know what you're raising charity for. Or look for a charity that is near and dear to your heart, something that you might have gone through, or a family or friend went through, so that way you can raise some money. You have that connection to them, and again, that'll help you throughout the fundraising journey that you're going to have. The next suggestion I have is break down everything into smaller goals. So for example, there's going to be some exceptions, but I'll go over that right now. So for example, if you have to raise $700 and you have 7 months, that's $100 per month. So if you focus on per month, you're fine. The only exception to that rule is if you have a charity that has 3 or 4 different deadlines, and so you got to make sure that you get that there. So that might even be your goal. Say, hey, they have 4 different goals, and you have to have 150 by here, 350 by here, 600 by here, and then 700 by here. Then you already know what you got to do. But if they don't give you that, you can break it down. You can even break down those even those smaller ones to even smaller ones, and say, I'm going to have to average about $100 a month. And if I make $100 a month payments, or I get that money, then I can reach my goal. So now let's go over fundraising ideas. And the simplest one is going to be friends and family. So if you have friends and family members who like to give back, that you're close to, and what I would suggest, if you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, I need to raise $1,000, that's the first thing they hear, and that's stuck in their head. So instead of saying, hey, you need to raise $1,000, hey, I'm fundraising, would you be able to spare $5 every week or every couple of weeks or once a month or something like that. Make it a little bit more viable in their head, because most of the time people are going to say, yeah, $5-10, yeah, I can do that once a month or twice a month or something like that. Now, to piggyback on this idea, so what you could do is either on your Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever, your social media page, you can either have a different page, or you can piggyback on your page and you can have like a $5 Giving Friday, something to that effect. And now just think about it this way. If you have $100 a month and that's your goal, and that's going to get you to your goal. If you have 5 friends that give $5 every week, that's $100 a month. And so you're well off on your way to hitting that goal. So again, just make it manageable, break it down. If you look at $1,000, you're going to be overwhelmed too. It's the same way as running a marathon. If you're focusing on mile 26 and you haven't even run the first mile, you're already defeated. Focus on the first mile. Once you get there, focus on the second one, so forth and so on. Break it down, you're gonna be okay. So the next one is businesses, and this is where I'm gonna give you some advice, but again, you live in your area, so you would know a little bit better. There is small businesses that might give back. There's bigger businesses that might match. So you have to go out and you're gonna have to like make a page. You're gonna have to make sure that they understand that they are going to get credit for that nonprofit, and so they're gonna be able to get a tax break. But a lot of them do it just because they get a tax break, and this goes for individuals too. Those people that give the $5, they do get a tax break for the $5. They do it every week. That's $20 for the month, so forth and so on. But go to businesses. Small businesses may do it for tax breaks. Larger business may do it again for tax breaks, but they may match. So next one is just be creative. If you have a creative outlet where you like sewing, you like putting together shirts, you like doing something, make something and you could basically sell them and you can fundraise. So always remember your cost and return on investment. So if you're making a shirt and it costs you $5 to make, try to get it $10 to $15, something like that. But something that you're creative about, you're passionate about, a hobby maybe that you can turn into fundraising, that's an idea that you could do. Again, I'm not the most creative person in the world, so but you guys are, so just think of something that you're creative about and you can turn it into fundraising. And then the last one I was gonna throw out there, because I'm gonna piggyback on something that I wanna do too, is holding events. If you hold an event, a lot of times, and especially if you make it fun event, people are gonna show up, or at least they're gonna try to interact, and then when you're there, you can say, all right, let's give $5. Again, going back to the smaller ones, $5. So you can hold events. So ideas about this is if you want to have a little fun run with kids, and you have a mom's group, you're a mother, you have a mom's group, you can say, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna run at this park and stuff. If everybody can just show up and give $5, it's gonna go to a great cause, and we all get together. I'm gonna be the one, and you as the parent who sit there, I'm gonna be the one that puts everything together. I'm gonna have refreshments afterward, something to that effect. And all of a sudden, people have fun, you're holding an event, and you're gonna be able to do some fundraising. So now I got one in my mind that I've been having for a while, and this is part of the reason is I always think about solutions. So I kept thinking to myself, man, I want to do this and stuff, and I think I can help people fundraise. I myself don't have to fundraise as of now. We're fine right now. I wanted to help people who are stuck in a rut, and so on June 7th, Muppet Courtyard, which is one of my all-time favorites. I used to go back there when there was no Galaxy's Edge, and I would sit back there. I would be by myself. I would just watch people, just come and go. There was nobody back there. Nobody would go to Muppet Vision 3D, and that became one of my favorite little attractions that they have. So I'm going to be there June 7th, and it's going to be the final time, the final day that we get to watch Muppet Vision 3D. We get to eat at Pizza Rizzo. So I plan on being there most, if not all of the day. So I'm going there from park opening to park closing. Maybe in between I might take a break, but that's it. So what I was gonna do, and this is gonna be more to help you guys out, and you guys can join me. So you guys can join me for an hour, guys can join me for the half a day, a full day, whatever you guys want. But I was thinking about, all right, we're gonna go into Muppet Vision 3D. I'm gonna do rope drop, and I'm going to Muppet Vision 3D. And for example, every time we do it 5 times, you can donate $5 or $5 to $10. If once we do 10 times, then it's $10 to $20 or something to that effect. And again, you could do your own. We're going to be filming. we probably will go live. I'm going to work on some live feeds, so hopefully go live. And here goes the kicker, because at the very end, I do want to go live because, okay, drum roll. I want to do something at the very end, and I'll share this with you. My vision is that at the very end, the last time, I want to go to the last show of Muppet Vision 3D come out. I know it's going to be hard because there's going to be packed. A lot of people are going to want to go in there. So we're going to go in there, see the show, come out, and sing Rainbow Connection. I think that would be a good way to close Muppet Courtyard, Muppet Vision 3D, Jim Henson's ideas, his dream, his, you know, what became a reality. I think that would be so cool. So if you guys want to join me, you're more than welcome to, but that's an idea of an event that I want to have. Comment down below if you guys have any more ideas. If you want to join me, you want more information, you want information about certain charities. Again, I know a couple of them pretty well. The rest of them I don't know, but they're all pretty good. They all should be pretty good. Some communicate a little bit better than others, so just be wary about that. Just be careful with that. But on the most part, Disney is not going to partner up with somebody who does not answer back or is not going to be valid. If they are not valid, they're probably going to drop them. So without further ado, I'm going to thank you very much for your time. Let's be nice to each other. If we got in or didn't get into the race, let's make sure that we make it a point to be nice to each other no matter what. Support each other when you're on the course, when you're training, when you're trying to sign up. Cheer people on. I've cheered people on and I love it. I see the puppet runner always out there. He's cheering people on when he didn't get into runs. He's always out there cheering us on when he didn't make it in. I mean, just on down the line. It's just... it's fun to do, so let's be nice to each other. I'm going to finish off with that. Thank you very much. Create a magical day, create a magical run, and guys, we're going to see you sooner than later.